If you've been thinking that you are always the second choice, you are not alone, my friend. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Second Best to Scene, the coaching sessions. So, a client of mine said something recently and it stopped me in my tracks. And he said to me, David, I've spent my whole life waiting to be chosen for dates, friendships, jobs. And every time that I'm not, it hurts, man. And I feel worthless. And when I asked him, where does that belief come from? And he couldn't quite pinpoint it to one moment. He just said it was everything. It was years of being overlooked on apps, you know, the ones, walking into bars, feeling invisible, watching other guys get the attention or the relationships and the life that he thought that he wanted. And he told me, he said, I know I shouldn't need other people to make me feel worth something, but I don't know how to feel it on my own. So if that sounds familiar, or if you've been measuring your own value by how often you get chosen or how much attention you get or how somebody else responds to you, this video is for you, my friend. Pull up a chair, make yourself a cuppa. Let's pause right here, take a breath, take a moment, and let's just sit with this together because I've got you, my friend. Now, before we get started, if you're new here, welcome to the coaching sessions. I'm David, and this is where we have the honest conversations about what it takes to stop playing a supporting role in your own life. As a mindset coach for gay men, I help them move from feeling like second best or somebody's maybe or powerless in their own lives to standing taller, feeling confident in their actions and their relationships. And we do this without the shrinking, the editing, or the people pleasing to keep everybody else comfortable. And if that sounds like something that you need in your life, hit subscribe and tap like so you don't miss what's coming next. Right, my friend, let's figure this out together. Ready? Here's what I want you to hear before we go any further. That feeling of being nothing, it's not the truth about you. It's just a conclusion that arrived based on evidence that you've probably been collecting for years. Every time that you were overlooked or ghosted, or every time you walked into a bar and feel like you didn't belong, you filed it away. And at some point, your brain started to connect the dots and decided that this must mean something about you. So my question is, what are you making this result mean about you? What evidence do you have that the opposite might be true? What if for every rejection you remembered there were 10 moments of connection that were dismissed, or 10 times somebody was kind to you that you maybe brushed off or didn't notice, or 10 qualities you possess that you've never once counted? The thing is, our brains are trained to notice what's missing, to scan for the rejection, to keep a running tally of all the ways that we think that we don't measure up. But that tally isn't fact. So think about this. Is it belief rooted in fear or fact? I want you to think back for a moment and think about, when was the first time that you felt like you had to earn your place? For a lot of guys that I work with, it might have started early on in life. The playground, the classroom, the family dinner where somebody else's achievements was celebrated while yours maybe were overlooked. A client told me recently, he said he learned to make himself useful because being himself didn't feel like enough. And he became the helper, the listener, the one who sorted out everybody else's problems. Been there, done that. But let's call that what it really is. It's not kindness. It's almost like a shield. Because somewhere along the way, this guy stopped believing that he was worth anything beyond what he could do for other people. So look at that belief that you were holding on to, that idea that you have to earn your seat at the table. So think about who taught you that, and do you still agree with them? You don't need to analyze it or fix it right now. Just notice where it started. Now, let me describe something and let me know if this lands. You meet somebody, maybe it's on an app or in person, and then there's this spark of hope. Maybe this one will be different. But you start tailoring yourself, laughing at jokes that are not funny, agreeing with opinions that you don't share. What part of you do you think that you hide to feel safe? And when they pull away or they choose somebody else, it devastates you, not because you lost them, because it feels like proof that you were not good enough again. I worked with a guy years ago who described it like this. He said, I hand people a scorecard the moment I meet them, and I wait for them to grade me somewhere along the way. So think about, where are you outsourcing your power? See, that's the trap. When your worth is determined by somebody else's response to you, you are handing them a power they never even asked for and probably don't even know that they have. I want to offer you a different way of looking at this. What if your worth was not something that you earned? What if it was not something that could be given or taken away by somebody else's opinion of who they think you are? Who would you be without that story? Think about someone that you love, a friend, a family member, somebody whose worth in your eyes has nothing to do with how they look or who they're dating or how many people want them. Why would it be any different for you? And this isn't about convincing yourself that you're amazing, because you are. It's about stopping the habit of discounting yourself every time someone else doesn't see it. The guys who make the biggest shifts are the ones who stop waiting for the validation. They start doing the things that remind them who they are, not to prove anything, just to reconnect with themselves. One of my clients started cooking again. Another guy started swimming. Another one started saying no to plans that drained him. And these are small reclamations, tiny ways of saying I matter and what I want matters. What would it look like to choose yourself here? Now, you might have spent years collecting evidence that you're not enough. But that pile isn't the truth. It's just what you've been paying attention to. So starting now, I want you to start collecting different evidence. Every time that you do something kind for yourself or you honor what you need, pay attention to it. Your worth was never about them. It's always about you. Now, if something in this session landed for you, I would love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is one quality that you have that has nothing to do with anybody else's approval? And if your gut's telling you it's time for a bit more support to rebuild that foundation, I've created a space exactly for that, and it's called the Freedom Community, and you are welcome to join us for free. And if that feels like a yes for you, the link is in the description below. I shall see you in the next session. Take care and be well.